This is Pierre Berton.
This is Charles Templeton.
Charles, we owe our constituents a semi-annual report on our activities in the physical jerks department. We're the jerks, but we're a little more physical than we were when we first reported almost 6 months ago.
It hasn't improved your arithmetic, by the way. This semi-annual report is coming after 5 months.
Each day at this time, CKEY presents Dialogue with Pierre Berton and Charles Templeton.
Charles, semi-annual reports are always issued ahead of time. We began our physical weight-reducing physical jerks campaign and program just after New Year's Day. The worst possible day, I may say, to get a physical test is the day after New Year's, because you're at least I am at the lowest ebb. I'm a bunch of flab and a bunch of nerves, and I'm half full of the stuff that they put in balloons when they stop your car. Anyway, we began the 1st of January. We're now approaching the end of June. We've been at it for 6 months. And I just want to tell our listeners that although you occasionally slid back, we have pretty well stuck to our ritual program of when we're in town of going into the health club, which is that club at the top of the Four Seasons, the Cambridge Club, 4 days out of the week. And for 1 hour, we have put ourselves through these various machine-like tortures, and that we are in much better shape, and that we are slimmer. At least I am. I lost 25 pounds.
And I lost 14. Well, haven't you put a little bit back?
Well, I lost 30. I'm down.
Did you lose 30?
I lost 30 pounds, and I'm now down. I've gained about 5 back, but I'm watching it. I'm around 218.
Let us talk for just a moment about, because while we might get flippant in kidding each other about it, I think perhaps it's so important a subject that we should be serious about it. And that is, of course, what happened was we looked at each other and realized that both of us were out of shape. We did not know how badly we were until we were tested.
I just couldn't stand facing you across the microphone every morning. You're so flabby and horrible looking.
Our original test, Mr. Burton, you were much lower than I at all points.
I had smashed all mirrors in my house 3 weeks before.
I was looking at them saying, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Tell me it isn't true.
No. Anyway, I'm fascinated by some of the people also who work out at the club. There are some there who go every day and do things which would kill a normal man in terms of the expenditures of energy, and are absolutely faithful about it.
I'm afraid
committed.
I'm afraid I may be one of those guys. I don't want to really go that far.
You do everything that way.
No, I don't want to go that far. I just want to...
I don't think you're in any danger.
Well, but they keep they keep stepping up that program. Just as you feel that you're enjoying it, you look at this chart they give you, and they've added 4 more of this and 10 more laps of that, and you're in a state of utter exhaustion when you stagger out of there now.
I think it might be fun, Pierre, if just so people know what happens when you work out at a club. Why is your memory good enough to run through the list of what you do? Just for fun.
Well, I go up
do it.
there.
If you can't, I will.
I have to sit on a bench and I have to touch my toes about 20 times each side with both hands, and then I've got to do what they call a roll-up and tuck, which means you lie on your back and you suddenly spring up to
sit up, tuck your legs in and hug them.
I got to do that
30 times.
30 times. And then I have to do a thing in which I bend over and straighten my legs out when I'm bent over, and I got to do that 12 times.
For flexibility.
And I got to go out and run 3/4 of a mile, a slow jog. And then I come back and there's a whole series of machines. First I take this 40-pound barbell, and I have to, what they call, pull up and press that, I don't know, 15 or 20
Well,
times.
so people will understand. Pressing it is shoving it from your shoulders up. Curling it is bringing it from your waist up to your shoulders.
Oh, well, I have to do it 27 times. I didn't know what those words meant.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched the other guys. And then there's a thing called pull down behind, which isn't what it sounds like at all.
You have the behind
Nothing to do
part.
with Stanfield's underwear. You sit in front of this giant machine.
Y-shaped thing.
And you haul down a Y-shaped thing, which hauls up 50 pounds, and that's supposed to do something to your shoulders. And there's an incline thing. I lie on that and lift this other 40-pound weight another 25 times.
And sit-ups?
Right. And I got to do
36 sit-ups.
I'm an incline number 2. I'm in really feet up in the air, and I do 30 of those. And then I do... and then I do 2.5 minutes on the bicycle at a high tension, so you can hardly push that around. And then I think I've left out a couple. Oh God, yeah, that jackknife. That's a terrible thing. You lie on your back and you bring one leg up, and you have to touch both feet to that leg, which means you have to sit up at the same time your leg is going up, and you have to do an incredible number of times, 30 times.
And lying back on the angle and lifting a weight.
Yeah, I do that. And then I do a thing with, which I couldn't do for a while, it's coordination, raising dumbbells and popping back and forth.
You know what you've just done?
I'm exhausted. I've done my
No,
exercises.
what you've done is anybody listening to us
Would never do it.
driving home or driving to work or whatever, thinking,
haven't
gee,
even
I ought to
finished."
begin to get fit. He just said, no way. And isn't that indeed what happens, Pierre? What happens is, I gather, for instance, that in many of the health institutions around town, they sign up about 5 or 10 times as many people as complete the course, and as a consequence, they don't have to have that much facility in many instances. But at any rate, there it is.
Each day at this time, CKEY presents Dialogue with Pierre Berton and Charles Templeton.